Så hvad er det, der skidt?
Ja, det kan jeg ikke sige. Måske det bedste, at du tager fri et par dage, ikke? Så kan vi få det her på plads sådan stille og roligt.
Hey guys, I'm Kevin.
And I'm Jake.
And this is Movie Matters. Today we're talking about the 2012 film The Hunt with Mads Mikkelsen. It's directed by Thomas Vinterberg. I've seen another Thomas Vinterberg movie before called Another Round. Have you seen that movie, Jake?
No.
Oh, it's super good. So I was excited to watch this one, and it's been on my list for a while to watch. And it was very depressing.
Yeah.
This movie is very dark. What were your thoughts on it?
Yeah, overall I think it's a really good movie. But yeah, it's a little difficult to watch.
Yeah, subject matter is very heavy.
Not like come and see difficult, but like still a little difficult.
Yeah, it's it's a Danish film, and it was nominated for Best Foreign Language Film at the Academy Awards. It did not win, which it's rated super high on IMDb. I mean, that's why we picked it, as we've done with these movies this entire month. It's number 97. Like, that's super high, in my opinion. And I was just looking what other movies it's like ahead of, and I'm like, sometimes the top 250 IMDb list kind of pisses me off. I mean, granted, it's all subjective, but it's all votes too. Like, it's ahead of 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Yeah.
Like, it's ahead of Scarface. It's ahead of Reservoir Dogs. It's ahead of Lawrence of Arabia. It's ahead of my all-time favorite movie, Heat. There's no chance it's better than Heat. Come on. Like, there's a ton of movies that it's ahead of. Like, Indiana Jones: The Last Crusade. Come on.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, the IMDb list is, like, kind of random, I feel like, because, one, people have to vote for the movie. So, like, you know, you're, like, no one's voting for every movie. So, like, you know, it's kind of, I feel like there's a little bit of, like, randomness and, like, arbitrary, like, kind of aspect to, like, who decides to vote for what. But, like, yeah, and like it shuffles a lot too.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, I think certain things I think get hot and then they move up the list, and then at some point they might fall. But
yeah, like Project Hail Mary is literally 98, like just came out, and that's already 98, just below this. Yeah, I mean, I really liked this film. I think the acting is incredible. I think the writing, that's what Thomas Vinterberg is like really good at least from my other viewing of his other film, Another Round, is the dialogue is just so natural and realistic. It just feels very grounded in reality and like just very natural. And it's hard for a lot of movies to do that because it's like a movie. Like this movie almost felt like documentary like.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, the subject matter is heavy, and it's just like this movie is a very difficult watch because it like makes you mad, just with how everyone doesn't believe him when the audience knows the truth, and that's good filmmaking in my opinion, is when the audience knows something that other characters don't. There's a good like conflict between that, and this movie does a really good job of that with this lie that Clara, the little girl, tells that. That Lucas showed his rod to her.
Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah. It's brutal, man. Kids say the darnest things, and just like one little lie, like fucked this guy's life up for the rest of his life.
Yeah, and like this came out in 2012. I feel like it's even more relevant, and like this is like a movie that I think could be remade in English in modern time with the social media aspect and be made even like more brutal. Cause like, like it's not like confined to like your town anymore. It's like confined to like the world, so like you're like can't even escape by like leaving your small Danish town, like
yeah,
you'd be like toast no matter where you went,
because that's what I was thinking. I was like, this guy's gonna have to like leave this town. Like he's just gonna have to uproot his life and move. And he could have. But yeah, that's a great point. If they did that, there'd be a lot more like dangerous ways and like brutal ways that this lie could turn into something even more grand and like hit the news and all this crazy stuff. And it's like, again, it's what I think this movie does a great job of is like, once labeled something, you're always labeled that no matter what, even if you're proven innocent. Yeah. There's still going to be someone out there that thinks you did something even though you didn't do it. And I think this is a prime example of that. And I think that's like, it's a dark tale, but it's realistic and it's very interesting and it's like very dramatic and very heavy. Yeah, I mean, I didn't expect this going in at all.
No, I didn't know anything about it. So
yeah.
I was a little surprised. But
Same here.
I mean, it was awesomely done. Like from a technical standpoint, it's like really, really excellent. I think even like the camera work and stuff like definitely has like a realism to it and like a it's not quite like a documentary style, filming, but like the way that it's shot doesn't like evoke like movie, like feelings. It feels very much like like you're watching someone's life, which is like obviously helps make this very compelling.
Yeah, agreed. I had no idea what this movie was about, and I just remember feeling like uneasy, especially towards the last quarter of the movie, about like not feeling that anything was resolved. And that's like literally the whole point of the end of the movie.
Yeah.
And like I was saying, like once you're labeled something, you're always labeled that. And I had that uneasiness feeling for like the last 40 minutes. And I think the way they do a good job, or at least Thomas Vinterberg does a good job of telling that, is when it doesn't show Lucas in jail or going to the court. It's all from the son's point of view and like the Godfather's point of view, kind of, where they're like, oh yeah, he's going to get out probably. It's looking good. And then he comes, and it's like you don't really see that resolve. You just hear about it. And I think that's a like really good way of pushing that point of like, this is never really truly resolved. I think they did a killer job with that.
Yeah, and like to expand on that a little bit, like I thought it was actually like really, really good writing to not turn the movie into like a police procedural, and like really focus on the external characters and like their emotional like reactions to like what's going on to drive the story forward, instead of the like whole court and police investigation and like court proceedings and blah blah blah, because like in the end, like that doesn't necessarily matter, kind of to your point. Like the only thing that really matters are the perceptions of like the people in the town, and we get both sides of that through the the people that turn on him, and then like his son and his son's godfather, who are like his only supporters basically.
Yeah. And I even wrote this down, and you like, this movie does a good job, even though you know the truth, you still understand where these characters are coming from because of the subject matter.
Yeah, 100%.
And I think that's so great, because it's like you don't really hate these characters, even though they're doing something wrong. They're still defending their family and still doing like what a normal person would do. So again, that adds to that realistic factor, and it's like really it just, again, it adds to the like compelling nature of the film. And I think that's like incredible, because I feel like not a lot of movies do that.
Yeah, like I found myself a couple times being like, yeah, I like don't blame them. Like at all. Like if they were like entirely certain that this guy was a pedophile, basically, like yeah, I wouldn't have any problem with what they were doing to him, you know?
Yeah.
But like, I mean, obviously, like as the audience, you know that like he's, you know, hasn't done anything wrong. Though, on a little sidebar, like, I don't know if this is the intent or not, but like, you know, my only like reference point for Mads Mikkelsen is as a villain. So like kind of through the whole movie, I was waiting for the other shoe to drop and be like,
Interesting.
oh, like, you know,
He is
but-
truly a pedophile.
yeah, but I mean, like that was like kind of like not really. I didn't think they were actually going to do that, but like
Yeah.
that little like thought was like just kind of gnawing at me like the whole movie, and like I don't know if maybe he was cast because of that, because I mean this was after Casino Royale, right?
I don't know. That's
It
a good
has to
point.
have been after Casino Royale.
I don't remember when Casino Royale came out. I think it was like 07.
Yeah, and like
So yeah,
yeah, and he had a couple other roles.
06. So yeah, this was 6 years after.
You know, it's like his that typecasting as like, you know, the like foreign villain, you know, I think was like kind of strong.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know if that was the intent or not, but it, like that's kind of what I had, like, you know, going on, which helped kind of make it more uneasy for me, because like there's that doubt, you know, kind of like gnawing at you.
Interesting.
You know,
Yeah,
like,
that's like your reference point. That's your North Star. Is like,
Right.
I know this guy's a villain. I mean, I've seen him in a couple other movies, not a ton of other movies, but yeah, he's like the villain in like the Doctor Strange movie. But he's. I've actually like. This is another movie, kind of like Witness for the prosecution, where it's like, oh, this makes me want to watch older movies. This movie makes me want to watch more foreign films.
yeah,
Granted, the subtitles in this movie went like they were so
They were really
fast.
fast. Yeah.
And it was a little hard to like. I mean, it wasn't hard to comprehend, but like they were just super fast. I
yeah.
noticed.
Luckily, the dialogue wasn't very like onerous. You know, like it
Yeah.
was like.
Yeah.
I mean, like you said, it's like it's very well written, like plain, natural dialogue. So it was easy to keep up, you know, or easier to keep up and understand what was going on. But
Yeah.
yeah, there were a few times where like they were moving so fast. I was like, oh god.
Yeah. Same here. And we've talked about how we don't necessarily love subtitles because
Yeah.
it distracts, obviously, a little bit. I read that, so I was looking up a little bit of background on Mads. It's actually, I think it's pronounced Mads Mikkelsen. It's kind of how like, I mean, like I'm no professional here, but that's what I read. That it was like, it's like but he's in another movie called Riders of Justice, which is another Danish film. It's streaming on Prime at this moment, which I'd recommend. It's like his wife and daughter die in a terrorist attack, and he goes like on a vengeance mission, but it's like kind of a dark comedy, and it's really good. That's good. Like I said, another round by the same director as this movie is excellent. I just watched that, I don't know, about a month or two ago, and that's fantastic. That's such a good movie. But yeah, he's incredible, an incredible actor. I mean, he's great in Rogue One. I never watched the Hannibal show. Did you ever watch that?
It's unbelievably good.
Really?
Yeah. Like
Okay.
when I found out they were canceling it, I was like so upset. I was so mad because he's amazing in it, and the guy who plays Will Graham is so good.
Nice.
So yeah, I had to highly recommend that series too.
Yeah, what's funny is I went on Letterboxd and I read some reviews for this movie, like post watching it, and one of them's like, no wonder Maz went and started eating people after this. It's like, I'd eat people too. Yeah, it's so funny. There's another one like, never have I hated a little girl more than in this movie. Like, there's so many good little ones. I mean, that's the one thing I hate about Letterboxd, not to go on this tangent, but like the reviews are people just looking to be like funny and not serious about movies, which is
Yeah.
like, sure, I get it, but it's also annoying to me because it's like they're just trying to get that top review on there, and it's like, But yeah, like this guy, honestly, bro, just burn the whole town down. Like, and they're like, man, you got to hate kids, the movie. Like, kids say the darnest things. But yeah, I think this movie is excellent. And like I said, it's a hard watch. So in 1999, Thomas Vinterberg was approached by a child psychologist, Soren Fries Smith, if I'm pronouncing that right, congratulating him on his prior movie, The Celebration, prior from '99, and giving him a pile of newspaper articles, scientific reports, and personal notes about cases where people had been wrongfully accused of pedophilia, telling him he had to make a film about the subject matter. Pretty interesting. So someone like, I've never seen The Celebration. It makes me want to watch it because I have no idea what it's about. And yeah, it's just interesting because there's true story, like shit like this actually happens in real life, which again kind of lends that documentary like lifelike feel to this movie.
I mean, we're like living through one right now with that JP Morgan like manager or whatever that got accused by a male coworker of like forcing him to do all kinds of
I haven't seen
sexual
that.
things. Yeah. But like she's like a good looking woman, so like she got memed, you know, like crazy, and like, but it turns out it was fake. Like the guy just made everything up. But now, you know, like she's a meme now forever. So like, you know, her life is not going to be as easy. So yeah, it sucks. Like if you get caught up in something like that, especially like when like you're like completely blindsided by it too, like Lucas is in this movie.
Yeah, I wonder what grounds you have for like litigation post that. You know what I mean? Like, can you sue people like based like libel and slander? Or,
oh yeah,
I wonder what.
I mean, the guy's probably gonna face criminal charges too, but like, yeah, but like. It doesn't
in
matter
this scenario,
because even if you win like $10 million from him, which he would never be able to pay, like, like, what do you like? People are still going to think that you're like this, you know, whatever, you know, insert criminal type here, you know?
Yeah. Like you said, that's like the whole theme of this movie is like you're branded that for life.
I mean, look at O.J. Simpson, like, you know, like probably the most famous case of this of all time, whether you think he's guilty or not. But like, that's like the whole point, you know, like you have like people are like dead set on either was guilty or innocent. And like, you can't convince people otherwise, you know?
Now talk about another good show. Have you seen The People versus O.J.?
Yeah. The,
like FX.
Yeah, the Xbox one. Yeah, it was
super
really good too.
Super good. And then like what I like about this movie that it sets up really well is that Lucas is kind of this loner, and he's like alone, and he's not really the happiest individual in life. However, he's like happy in his job and like really good at it, and it like really does a good job of establishing that he's really good with children. Yeah. And I think that helps, like, it just helps with the case of the movie in general. And he, like, the little girl, Claire, at the beginning, he's, like, walking her to school, and she's like, my dad says you're, like, very lonely. And he's like, oh, is that right? And, like, that little line just, like, establishes so much. And you find out he's divorced, and he's trying to kind of, like, spend more time with his son. Mm-hmm. And then he starts, like, his life starts to kind of turn around. And, like, that's another good, compelling way to tell a story in obviously a confined setting, you know, 2 hours, if you will, where he starts falling in love with Nadja, like another employee at the school. And it's like his life starts to get better. And then his son is going to come to live with him, and he's super happy. And then all of a sudden it just starts crashing on him and ruining and blowing up his life. Also, shout out to the dog. The dog Fanny in this is awesome. Yeah. I thought they killed the dog for real. Like, I was very sad because that dog was like playing dead so well.
Yeah.
with its tongue out and everything. I like Googled it. I had to Google it and like do some research. I was like, no, because if you look in the IMDb thing, it's like the dog didn't suffer during filming. Like suffer? Like is it actually dead? Like the way they say that, I was like,
Yeah.
no, there's no way. However, the deer were actually like shot in this movie, which is kind of sad. But apparently, it was done by professionals and it's for population control and stuff like that. But it's interesting that like the movie, it's called The Hunt, and there's not really like, it's not about hunting really. I mean, it kind of is, but it's like the hunt.
Yeah,
It's the hunt for like truth is really what it is. It's like that's what it's all about. It's kind of a double entendre about that.
It's evocative of like a witch hunt too.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, definitely. And I mean what I like but I also don't like is like you don't find out who vandalizes his house and who kills the dog. You don't find that out. And you don't necessarily need to know that. Because again, it's like it's that theme of once labeled this, you're always this.
Yeah.
And that same thing is emphasized in the ending where they're on this hunt, and it could be any one of those people with him, which I'd almost go back and like watch that scene who's there, or it could be some random person that just followed them.
Yeah.
You don't know, and that's what's interesting about it. That like this hunter shoots right at him and just misses, and then walks away like, "Hey, like I know who the fuck you are."
Yeah.
Kind of thing, and it's very interesting. On the Blu-ray, there's actually an alternate ending where he's actually shot by a member of the village and is left to die in the woods, which is pretty interesting. So they had an alternate ending of that, but I think it's way more powerful to have him like be paranoid about it and always have that looking over your shoulder mentality and like always again branded a pedophile or branded the village outcast.
Yeah, just like the permanent like unease that he's just left with. For the rest of his life, basically. Yeah.
Yeah. I always find it funny because like Theo, who is Clara's dad, played by Thomas Bo Larson, he's in Another Round and he's excellent in this. But like in Another Round, it's that movie is about drinking right to the specific limit of intoxication. Intoxication.
Yes, yeah.
It's drinking to that limit and holding that limit, and your life is like significantly better when you're like basically mildly drunk, and that's like the whole plot of that movie. And Thomas Bo Larson was like fighting alcoholism in real life, especially during this movie, and his beard was fake. I don't know why they put a fake beard on him, but you could tell like his hair on his face was just like, it just didn't feel natural. That was like the only thing that kind of took me out of this movie. I don't know if you noticed that at all, but I was like, man, that hair, that just, something is not right about that.
It was just like super unruly to me.
Yeah.
Could have cleaned it up a little bit, but
yeah. But there's also like, there's his character is important. I like him because he also like there's a turning point for him in the movie, and again it's like really good character development. But in the beginning, Lucas lies, and like he has this tick on his eye, is what Theo says. He's like, whenever you lie, you always have this like facial tick. And when he questions him about like sexually abusing his daughter, he looks for that facial tick. I didn't notice that when watching, but it mentions it in the trivia, and it's like his tick, he doesn't have that tick. So, I mean, clearly the audience knows he's telling the truth, but it helps that character kind of do it. But then it's like that character, some characters just can't handle the real truth. And, it's like you want to trust your daughter, your own flesh and blood, over anyone. And I think that's really interesting. But I love his turning point at the end where his daughter is half asleep and is like, "Hey, I'm sorry I told this lie." And he's like, "No, it's just me, it's Dad." And then he goes and like pays his respect and like asks for almost like a truce meal. He gives a truce meal to Lucas after Lucas's like breakdown where he's hit rock bottom in the church, which is such a powerful scene. Oh my God, it's so good. And him being like, you know, like everyone's listening. Like, what else do you want from me? I've got nothing. I've got nothing left in this world. Yeah, like everything's been taken from me. And it's interesting because he was almost at that point in the beginning of the movie. And like then he's just been stripped of literally everything, and he's become a shell of a man. And it's interesting to see that transformation of like what this type of thing does to a man. And I think that this movie does a really good job of that.
Yeah. Yeah, and like, you know, the immediately preceding scene is him getting like assaulted in the grocery store. So like he's like both like mentally and physically broken.
Yeah.
You know, as he like has his like, you know, breakdown in the church. So like, yeah, I mean, it's like truly that he's like at rock bottom.
Yeah.
And like, you know, I think Theo's development is really excellent as well. And really helps like set up that like mild redemption arc, you know?
Yeah.
But like even the final scene, you know, where everybody's arriving at the house for the hunt, and you see Lucas, you know, kind of like saying hi to everybody. It's like everything's still like very awkward and like, you know, not everybody's like is super warm, you know, to like his presence. So yeah, it's like, I don't know, but again, like I feel like it's realistic first, you know, so like that's kind of how the story needs to go.
Yeah, agreed. And I like I love the scene where he comes back from like jail, if you will, or like from court, and his godfather's like, "Hey, don't fondle the boy. You don't want to go back to prison." Like that was hilarious. But like going back to you're talking about that like grocery store scene where he's shopping there and like people don't want him there. Like a lot of those things just hit so hard. Like the store manager telling his son, being like, "Hey, tell your dad like you can't shop here, and like you specifically also can't shop here because you're associated with your dad." And it's interesting to see that, but also like there's a movie called Valhalla Rising, and it's a Nicholas Winding Refn movie. I don't know if I've ever talked to you about it off camera. And it's like it's supposed to be In the Heart of Darkness. It's based on that novel, and it's like Vikings, and Mads Mikkelsen is a Viking, and he's so freaking badass in it, and like. I just like there's certain movies that he's a badass in general, and when he goes back and headbutts the like butcher is awesome in this movie. He's just like, you know what, I want my groceries too. Like it kind of there's a little bit of a redeeming arc for him there in terms of like you're like, fuck, I feel bad for this guy, but then it's like, all right, well he's standing up for himself, so good. Yeah. Like, and that's like another good point that this movie brings up or like does is like. He's always defending himself, and like I don't know. I think like it's an important to have that. I think one of the like another great scene. So like there's two like scenes of forgiveness in this movie, and it's the meal like exchange between Theo and Lucas, and then the exchange near the end at the house before the hunt with Clara and him.
Yeah.
Where he like kind of like he does. It's a child. Like he doesn't need to tell her I forgive you, but basically through his gesture, he forgives her by helping her get across this floor because she can't really step on like multi-layered textures, and he picks her up, and then she like embraces him because she like forgives him too because she was mad at him for like. I guess like rebuffing her kind of, or like being like, hey, like, you know, you shouldn't kiss people on the lips and like go tell these boys you like have a crush on them, not me. Yeah. And there's kind of that forgiveness scene that's like, it's showing, not telling. Right. And like, it's so well done. It's such a little tender moment that like really is just a nice moment at the end of the film that it needed. It needed that.
Yeah. Then they pull it away from you when he almost gets shot.
Yeah. 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 Yeah, other than that, it's like so elements of the plot resemble a real story of Escola Bas, if that's how I pronounce his name, in Sao Paulo in 1994. Mainly reports of sexual encounters in a non-existing basement, exaggerated accounts of children's words, and violence against the owners and faculty are very close to like what happened. So it's interesting that like all these kids came up with a narrative, and it's just because they're scared. They're in front of adults, and like it's like one little lie leads to like all this. It's crazy.
Yeah, like there was a lot of cases like this in like the 80s and like early 90s too, where like groups of kids in like the same class or like neighborhood or whatever would all like kind of develop this same story about something horrific happening, and like usually a lot of the details were like made up. But like the thing that like they kind of found was that a lot of times it was the adults giving them details and the kids confirming the details. You know, like one kid would make up, you know, that like there was a basement and that had like red curtains or like whatever.
Yeah.
And then when they'd be interviewing other kids, they'd be like, well, was there a basement? And the kid would just be like, yeah. Like, oh, did it have curtains? They'd be like, yeah. Like, what color were they? And then the kid would be like, I don't know. They'd be like, were they red? And the kid would be like, yeah. You know, like they just agree because they think that's what's going to get them through, you know, this interrogation, you know, and like, I mean, adults do this too in criminal like interrogations, you know, and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, also, God, what was that show? Making a Murderer?
I've never watched it. I don't think. Maybe.
From the Netflix show.
Okay, I've seen like one or two things.
Like one of the main like points in that is Stephen Avery is the guy who's accused of murder, and his I think nephew is kind of like, I don't know that he's mentally challenged, but he's like not intelligent, and like they bring him to the police station and they're like doing exactly that to him, where they're like berating him with questions, then they start feeding him details and he starts confirming them, and like, you know, the directors of the series kind of use that to show that like these, like the kid like didn't know anything, like he was just trying to get out of the interrogation room, and like they kept telling him like, yeah, if you tell us what happened, you're like, we'll let you go, and like we'll let you go home, and like all this stuff. So like they just start confirming everything so they can get out of there as fast as possible, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, my daughter even does that. Like, I'll be like, what did you do at school today? And she'll be like, I don't know. And I'm like, did you color? Like, yeah. Did you go walking on the moon? Yeah. You know, like, she just, you know, confirms things just because it's, you know, fun or whatever. Like, I mean, she's 2, so like,
they don't necessarily, it's not that they don't know any better. It's just like, they're just agreeing to agree in a sense.
Right.
Yeah, it's interesting. And like this movie does a really good job of showing that. And yeah, it's like, how do you, I get that like the case is being built because you have all these children, but it's like, children are unreliable witnesses / like narrators in a sense. And it's just interesting that like, oh, I trust the children always tell the truth. Like that's what Greta or whatever, however you pronounce her name says. And like, I don't know, it's just interesting.
Which it's hard because like you don't want to just like disregard what kids say, because you know,
especially something
real,
like that,
like insane, you know, you don't want to just like gloss over that. But at the same time, like you can't just take everything kids say at like pure face value sometimes.
I know.
You know,
but that's where like the conflict lies too, and that's where like this movie, again, you like get the point of views of these characters being like, you know, thinking he's a bad man. And you know, it also like, again, like I was saying in the beginning, how he's like really good with children. It's like, oh, like he's always playing with the boys and always doing this. And it's like, well, I could see that, I guess. It's like people start creating this like narrative in their mind. And it's like, oh, yeah, like that does make sense. And like that doesn't help anything.
Yeah. Well, and like there's also like a lot of emphasis on Greta saying that like she doesn't know how to handle this kind of situation. So like, you know, she starts doing things that are like a little I don't want to say suspect, but like trying to think of the right word, like naive or like, you know, like
Unorthodox?
Yeah, like, you know, like she calls his wife. Like, why? You know, like, like that's not like the right thing to do. Like the police haven't even done their investigation at that point, and she's telling everybody that like he's a pedophile, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you know, there's like a lot of things that like I think blow everything out of proportion and like increase and really like escalate the spiral. You know, not only driven by her, but like, you know, she's kind of one of the primary drivers of like the problem, you know.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, she's part of the problem. Yeah, I mean, it's a great movie. The only other kind of little trivia I have is the little girl was never told during filming what exactly Lucas was accused of, which I appreciate that they didn't tell her.
Yeah.
And she was only told that her character lied about him committing a crime. That's like the only thing she was told. So I thought her acting was excellent in this movie. Like, again, everyone is top notch acting wise. Yeah, I really enjoyed this movie. I don't know if I'll watch it again because it was a hard watch, and like I even wrote down that note. I'm like, man, this is very tough to watch. It's like it's almost like infuriating to watch.
Yeah. Well, it's like it's kind of exhausting too. It's like you feel like you're being pulled in like so many different directions emotionally. Like, you know, like by the end of it, I was like glad it was over.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, like I said, like when he gets like acquitted of his crimes, I was like, there's still 40 minutes left of this movie. I'm like, I am uneasy. Like,
yeah, I didn't even know what the runtime was, but like I could tell like it wasn't over yet.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
but not that it was like long by any means. It
didn't
really
feel.
It was paced really well.
Yeah.
I think, and the setup was really just good. It just the drama, the conflict, and like everything is set up so well in this movie. I'd be curious if they make like an English remake. Not that it needs one, but like
it
you said,
need one. But I mean, I think that like a remake would be, I think, warranted only to put it in the context of modern society.
Yeah, I agree.
Or contemporary society, you know.
I agree.
Like 2012 wasn't that long ago, but like it like the way we function is like so much different now.
Like you said, everything's a meme, and some, you know, the second something is noted on the news or something happens in modern times, it's like everyone jokes about it or makes something about it, and that's just society these days. So it's interesting. Yeah, that'd be interesting to see if a movie does something like that. But yeah, I mean, very depressing. So I feel like so far we've gotten like really good. Like all these movies are kind of depressing that we've watched so far. Kind of like Witness for the Prosecution. We have it's like you like a whodunit, like the crime, like you get it gets turned on its head, and then you've got Great Dictator, which is about Hitler basically, and then you've got this movie.
That one's uplifting though.
I know, yeah, but like you've got this movie which is depressing, and then we're gonna have a weird ass movie next, Naked Lunch. I have no idea what to expect with that movie.
Some Cronenberg hijinks.
Yeah, and we like Cronenberg. We like Cronenberg. His movies are weird, but I'll be curious to see what we think. So I'm glad we watched this movie. I think it was excellent. I like this director. I'm definitely going to watch I'll definitely watch The Celebration at one point or another in my life for sure. His like one of his first movies, and I recommend you watch Another Round. It's excellent. Yeah, I think this month is good. I really like doing movies like this.
Yeah.
In general, like watching movies I haven't seen, because it's fun. It's fun, even though they're depressing movies. It's fun. So, yeah. Well, thank you guys for watching, and we'll catch you next week with Naked Lunch.
Yep.
And yes, that's a movie.
Yeah.
That's a movie. It's not us having lunch.
No.
Yeah. So, all right, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you later.
See ya.
Later.